Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta "Tank" Davis have a history that began as a traditional mentor-protégé relationship, but over time, it has evolved into something much more personal, and maybe something that can only be resolved in the ring. What began as a business collaboration has gradually evolved into a full-fledged competition, and if recent events are any indicator, things are only getting hotter. On February 24, 2025, Mayweather celebrated his 48th birthday in true money Mayweather form, with lavish parties, costly yachts, and millions of dollars spent to tell the world that he is still at the top. Fans and celebrities filled social media with tributes to the undefeated icon, but one post stood out among the sea of praise. It wasn't a pleasant birthday greeting, and it wasn't even subtle. It was written by none other than Tank Davis and read, "Life is better when you're gone. I don't need you." The message was clear, but the timing made it even more powerful. On Mayweather's birthday, Tank chose to take a direct aim at the man who formerly controlled his career. Within minutes, suspicion erupted online. Was this just an angry ex-protégé screaming his emotions, or was there something more to the tension? If you followed their history, you'll know that this wasn't simply a spontaneous outburst, but rather the latest episode in a long-running dispute. The rupture between Mayweather and Davis was not unexpected. It was brewing behind the scenes even before Tank officially left Mayweather Promotions in 2022. Mayweather had identified Tank as his next superstar, preparing him to be the face of the sport's next generation. However, as Tank's reputation increased, so did his need for independence. He desired to run his own career, make his own decisions, and break out of Mayweather's shadow. That was when things began to fracture. One of the first major signals of danger emerged in 2023, when Davis disclosed that he had been barred from training at Mayweather's gym. This occurred immediately preceding his bout against Ryan Garcia, a watershed point in his career. Being barred from using a facility that was previously his home raised questions. Was this just business, or was Mayweather conveying a message? Tank saw it as a planned ploy to remind him that leaving Mayweather Promotions would have ramifications. But the biggest surprise came lately when Davis talked about his first world title fight versus Jose Pedraza. According to Tank, this wasn't simply another fight, it was a setup. He alleged that Mayweather placed him in a lose-lose situation, expecting him to fail. Why would a promoter want to see his own fighter lose? Tank's response was surprising. He feels Mayweather intended to keep him in check, reminding him who was in charge of his career. What made this disclosure even more bizarre was Tank's declaration that it wasn't simply business, it was personal. He introduced another unexpected twist into the story, mentioning Mayweather's daughter. According to Davis, she had been contacting him on Snapchat, and when Floyd discovered out, he lost it. Tank suggested that Mayweather, who is protective and controlling, did not like the notion of his daughter getting associated with him, so he utilized his power to keep Tank's career under his control. If this is accurate, it suggests that one of Davis's most significant moments was influenced for personal reasons rather than boxing politics. Whether or not this was the entire story, it added another layer to the already complex connection between the two fighters. Davis also provided light on the financial side of things, admitting that Mayweather had never fully empowered him. He claimed that Mayweather kept him dependent rather than providing him with the skills he needed to achieve true financial independence. He'd give away $10,000 here and $15,000 there, just enough to keep things rolling but never enough to break free. This sounds strikingly similar to the type of control that several boxing promoters have been accused of. Ironically, Mayweather built his entire identity around being the boxer who broke free from such structures, whereas Davis now argues he never had the same freedom. While Davis has spoken publicly about his issues, Mayweather Promotions has been unusually quiet in 2025. When Richard Schaefer took over as CEO, many people expected significant changes. Instead, there has been virtually nothing. There have been no significant fight announcements, no big-name signings, and nothing that indicates domination in the boxing industry. For a corporation that formerly positioned itself as a leading promotional force, the lack of action is evident. The question is, has Mayweather lost interest in running a promotional organization, or is his old-school business model now catching up with him? Despite his official retirement, Mayweather has continued to compete in exhibition fights, reminding the world that he still has the ability and brand power to sell tickets. But could that develop into something more? Could his long-standing feud with Davis escalate into a physical altercation? The prospect of Mayweather getting into the ring with one of the most deadly punchers in boxing today appears absurd, but the truth is that the lines between exhibition fights and serious battles have become increasingly blurred. And if there's one thing Mayweather won't do, it's turn down an opportunity to prove he's still the best. From Davis's perspective, the fight would be about more than simply boxing. It would be about finally breaking free from Mayweather's influence. He has already demonstrated that he does not require Mayweather Promotions to be a celebrity, but standing across from Floyd in the ring and defeating him? That would be the ultimate statement. Whether or not this fight takes place, one thing is certain: Mayweather hasn't totally let go of his control over Tank's career. His current social media activity seems to indicate that he is still keeping an eye on Davis. Shortly after Tank's birthday post, Mayweather uploaded an old sparring video with Davis and Devin Haney. Many interpreted this as his way of reminding the world that he helped develop Tank as a fighter. Others regarded it as petty, a needless move by a legend who should not feel the need to prove anything. But perhaps it is the whole point. Perhaps Mayweather feels the need to remind everyone, including Tank, that he is the one who created him. And that is precisely why this beef is unlikely to die down anytime soon. Tank, on the other hand, is preoccupied with more pressing matters. His career is still on the rise, and he has already established himself as one of boxing's biggest stars. For years, it was believed that Mayweather held the key to a fighter's success. He was the blueprint, the businessman, the one who knew how to make fighters wealthy. However, Davis is demonstrating that fighters can achieve success without Mayweather's instruction, something Floyd may find difficult to accept. The greater concern is whether other boxers will come forward with similar stories. Tank was Mayweather Promotions' biggest star, but he wasn't the only fighter under Floyd's tutelage. If additional fighters start revealing their stories, the entire promotional firm could come under fire. Finally, this is more than just boxing. It's all about control. It is about power. It is about legacy. Mayweather has spent his entire career ensuring that no one has authority over him, but Davis is demonstrating that he can succeed without him. That's why this feud won't be resolved with a few social media posts. It is personal. And how does this story truly end? Both men stood across from each other in the ring. What are your thoughts? Was Mayweather holding Tank back, or was he simply trying to guide him? And if this fight ever happens, who do you think would win? Let us know in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe for more information on this ongoing competition.